Today, boys and girls, we will be doing a brake job on a BMW X3. So we're gonna do brakes and rotors. Nothing too crazy, something simple. Just with any other brake job, it goes the same. The biggest thing about this, as you're gonna see, is that little wire right there. This little wire is your brake sensor. That has to be connected. And if it's not connected on the interior of the car, well, correction, it has to be connected on the brake pad. It goes in there, it's kind of dark. Yeah, it's like that. So, if that's not in there, your brakes will always show a fault or something similar to that. So, as I was saying, we're gonna do brakes and rotors on this thing today. And I'm gonna show the process on how to do it. But first things first, we gotta compress this caliper. I don't think I need to show that to be done, but I will show you what tools you're gonna need and so forth to get the job done. Very simple, straightforward, no confusion. So the biggest thing to remember, when you get the caliper loose, you need a 13mm wrench and maybe an adjustable wrench to hold this part of the bolt so it doesn't spin. Because for whatever reason, BMW uses thread locker on their nuts. So, come back here. This is a little bit difficult, but make sure you unplug that sensor before you take the caliper off so you don't break it. It just slides in there. So it's very simple to pull out. Just pull on it a little bit and it'll come off. So now, we gotta unplug the brake sensor. Easiest way to do it, I've already did this part. Get a little screwdriver and get in between there. And when you do it right in there, try not to break it. And it should just pop straight out once it's done. And remember, the brake pad with a backing plate like that is the one that you're gonna put the sensor into, because it protects it from the back and the front. So, for now, we're gonna put this aside so we can get to the rotor. So the next tool you're gonna need is a T6. And it goes right in there to take the rotor off. Like so. Now, from that part, you're gonna need your specialty German sockets for this to take out the caliper bracket itself. And once you take all that out, the rotor comes straight off. Another helpful tip: you got everything off and the rotor's moving around and you want it to stay still, stick the screwdriver in the blade. It's gonna be thrown away anyway, so it really not gonna hurt it. So just put the screwdriver in there so it'll kind of hold it in place while you turn it on it, because you got to put a lot of force on it to get it to move in most cases. So we're just going to loosen it up just a little bit. And now we're going to go back here to the back and take out those caliper bracket bolts. So to remove this bracket right there, this is the bolt you're looking at. You can use a 13mm to break it to get it off, but that's at your own risk. But either way, it's worth investing into it and getting it done right versus a spur of the moment thing. But if not, like I said, you always can use the 13mm bolt. Then we'll get back to pulling this off like we were doing a second ago. So pull it off by hand because it's not really that tight anymore. Pull it out, make sure you put it somewhere so you don't lose it. And voila, it's off. That's simple. That's fine. So now we'll put the new ones on and get everything back together. So now, we get everything back into place. Put that back on. Tighten it down as probably tight as I'm gonna get it without it moving on me like that, because I gotta lock it back into place to retorque everything. Now, going back to this thing. I'm gonna slap this thing on and go from there. So now, what I'm getting ready to do is just clean the rotors before I put the brake pads back into the system. This I'm spraying back and front. Got it on there nice and good. Now, to install the brake pads. So now for the back one. This one's going to be a little bit complex because we're going to run it through the caliper, the actual connection. And then we're going to put everything back into place. So I wish I had two hands. Oh, I'm sorry, three hands. One to hold this and one to show me putting everything back in without holding the camera. So make sure this side right here is facing outward towards the rotor in order for it to work properly. So once it's plugged back in, you're gonna hear a little click to let you know that it's seated properly. Just like so. And that metal backing plate has to be on that particular side to cover the back end of that wire. That's how you know you're doing the right one. Now we have the finished product. Everything's back in there where it should be. So for, there we go. That's simple. Like, comment, and share.